Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you want to improve your English in a fun and easy way, you are in the right place. Today's story is called The Mysterious Package. Listen carefully, enjoy the story, and try to understand the English without translating every single word. Let's begin! It was a cold Monday morning. Ethan was making breakfast in his small apartment. The coffee was hot. The bread was in the toaster. Everything was quiet. Suddenly, knock, knock, knock. Ethan looked at the front door. Who could that be so early? He asked. He opened the door. Nobody was there. The hallway was empty. He looked to the left. Nothing. He looked to the right. Nothing. Then he looked down. A small brown package was sitting on the floor. It was old. The paper was worn. The corners were damaged. There was no name, no address, no company logo. Only one word was written in large black letters. Open. Ethan picked up the package. It was surprisingly light. He closed the door behind him. He placed the package on the kitchen table. For a few minutes, he simply looked at it. Should I open it? It could be dangerous. It could be a mistake. But curiosity was stronger. He slowly untied the old string around the box. Inside was only one thing, a small silver key, nothing else. No letter, no explanation, just the key. What does this open? Ethan whispered. He searched the box again. Empty. That night, Ethan could not stop thinking about the key. He tried to sleep, but every time he closed his eyes, he imagined different possibilities. Maybe it opened a safe. Maybe it opened an old house. Maybe someone needed his help. The next morning, another knock came. Knock, knock, knock. Ethan ran to the door. Again. Nobody. Only a white envelope. Inside was a single sentence. The key opened something important. No signature. No name. No date. Ethan felt a strange feeling. Someone clearly knew where he lived. Someone wanted him to find something. But who? For the next 3 days, Ethan searched everywhere. He tried the key on every door inside his apartment. Nothing. Every drawer. Nothing. Every cabinet. Nothing. He even checked the mailbox. Nothing. On Friday morning, another envelope arrived. This time, the message was different. Look where your happiest memories began. Ethan read the sentence many times. His happiest memories. He thought about his childhood, his school, his old neighborhood, his grandparents. Suddenly, his eyes became wide. My grandparents' house. He had not visited it since his grandmother passed away 5 years earlier. The old house had been empty ever since. That afternoon, Ethan drove there. The road looked exactly the same. The old trees were still standing. The little bridge was still there. When he arrived, the house looked lonely. Dust covered the windows. The garden was full of weeds. The paint was peeling from the walls. Ethan unlocked the front door with the spare key his mother had kept. The air inside smelled old, very old. Everything was covered with dust. The old clock was still hanging on the wall. The family photos were still on the shelves. Nothing had changed. He slowly walked through every room. The living room. Nothing. The kitchen. Nothing. His grandparents' bedroom. Nothing. Then he remembered something. As a child, his grandfather always smiled whenever he looked toward the attic. You'll understand one day, his grandfather used to say. Ethan climbed the old wooden stairs. Each step made a loud sound. Creak, creak, creak. The attic was dark. Only a little sunlight came through a small window. Old furniture stood in every corner. Boxes covered with dust filled the room. Then Ethan saw it. A small wooden chest, hidden beneath an old blanket. It had a tiny silver lock. His hand started shaking, slowly. He took the silver key from his pocket. He placed it inside the lock. Click. The chest opened. Ethan took a deep breath. What was waiting inside would change his life forever. Ethan slowly lifted the lid of the old wooden chest. His hands were shaking. His heart was beating fast. Inside the chest, there was no gold. There were no diamonds. There was no money. Instead, he found hundreds of old photographs. Some were black and white. Some were in color. He picked up the first photo. It showed his grandparents smiling in front of the house. His grandfather looked young. His grandmother was holding a baby. "That's my mother," Ethan whispered. He smiled. Then he found another picture. His mother was about 10 years old. She was riding a bicycle. His grandfather was running beside her. Both of them were laughing. Ethan had never seen these pictures before. He continued looking through the chest. There were birthday cards, children's drawings, old postcards, family letters. Every memory was carefully organized. At the bottom of the chest, he found a small blue notebook. On the cover were the words, "For Ethan." His eyes became wide. "My grandfather wrote this for me." He carefully opened the notebook. On the first page, it said, "Dear Ethan, if you are reading these words, it means you found the key. Congratulations, you solved the first mystery. I knew you would never give up." Ethan smiled. His grandfather always loved puzzles. He kept reading. "I wanted to leave you something more valuable than money. Money disappears. Cars become old. Houses become empty. But memories can stay alive forever." A tear rolled down Ethan's face. He turned the page. "When you were little, you laughed every day. You asked hundreds of questions. You believed every day was an adventure. Please don't lose that part of yourself." Ethan closed his eyes. He remembered fishing with his grandfather. He remembered eating ice cream together. He remembered long walks in the park. Those were the happiest days of his childhood. He kept reading. "Life will sometimes make you tired. People will disappoint you. Some dreams will not come true. But never stop being kind. Kindness always returns." Ethan smiled. Those words sounded exactly like his grandfather. Then he reached the final pages. "There is one last surprise." Ethan looked around the attic. What surprise? He searched inside the chest again. Nothing. Then he noticed another sentence. "Look under the floor." He carefully moved the chest. One wooden floorboard looked different. He gently lifted it. Underneath was another small box. This one was made of metal. He opened it. Inside was an old pocket watch. It was beautiful. Silver. Simple. Elegant. Beside it was another letter. It read, "This watch belonged to my father. He gave it to me. Today I give it to you. Not because it is expensive, but because every minute of life is precious. Do not waste your time being angry. Do not waste your time waiting for the perfect day. Call your family. Visit your friends. Forgive people. Laugh often. Love deeply. Life is shorter than we think." Ethan looked at the old watch. It was still working. Tick, tick, tick. It had been keeping time for many years, just like his grandfather's love. Ethan carefully placed the watch in his pocket. He took the notebook, the photographs, the letters, everything. Before leaving, he looked around the attic one last time. "Thank you, Grandpa," he said quietly. As he walked outside, the sun was beginning to set. The old house no longer looked sad. It felt warm. It felt alive. That evening, Ethan visited his parents. They spent hours looking at the old photographs. His mother smiled. Sometimes she laughed. Sometimes she cried. "I haven't seen these pictures in 30 years, she said. His father looked at the notebook. "He loved you very much." "I know," Ethan answered. The following weekend, Ethan invited his entire family for dinner. His cousins came. His uncles came. His aunts came. Everyone shared stories. Everyone laughed. The old photographs passed from hand to hand. Children listened carefully. For the first time in years, the family felt closer than ever. Weeks later, Ethan had an idea. He created a family memory box. Every person added something: a photograph, a letter, a drawing, a favorite recipe, a special story. The box became larger every year. The youngest children loved opening it. The oldest family members loved telling the stories behind each object. One rainy morning, almost 1 year later, knock, knock, knock. Ethan opened the door. Nobody was there, only a small brown package. He smiled. Inside was a blank notebook. On the first page were only 6 words. "Now your story begins." Ethan looked at the sky. He smiled. He picked up a pen. He opened the notebook. And he started writing. Because the greatest treasure is not money. It is not gold. It is not fame. The greatest treasure is the love we share and the memories we leave behind. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story and learned new English words today, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new English story. Now tell me in the comments, what would you do if someone left a mysterious package at your door? I read as many comments as I can, and I would love to hear your answer. Thank you for learning English with us. See you in the next story. Goodbye, and have a wonderful day.